What's up, guys? Welcome to Zoriana's tutorial, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to draw a castle. And you know what? Our castle has a pretty princess in it. Our pretty princess right now, she's homeless. She needs a castle. We need to get her a castle ASAP. So we need to draw her a castle. Recently I've been hearing a lot of backlash about my pretty princess tutorial, which I don't really understand why. I think a lot of people are saying how it's unnecessary, but I think when you're trying to learn art, that understanding how clothes move and shading and drawing human, or not human hair, but hair, and being able to structure a body is very important. I know that, it's might be hard trying to accept art into this new community that wasn't always art, but I mean, we're just gonna have to live with it, man. Like, I know, but I can't just quit and tell everyone, "Hey, my class is over," because no one likes art. Because there's people out there that want to do art. So don't push art away because you personally don't like art or don't do art. That's just a little bit weird, okay? So we're gonna get on with our tutorial and we're gonna start doing a little castle, man. Let's draw our castle. Okay, this is a beginner tutorial, so we're gonna click the three little lines button on our controller. Anyways, it should open up our menu and it'll give us this menu of backpack. Then we're going to click use or recall. Recall if you already have it out, use if you didn't. And how I can pull it out from my back like this is I open the same menu and I give it that cute little star, which it's favorite or unfavorite. This will unfavorite your camera, but you can pull out your maker pen faster. So yeah, I will display the things on the screen that we're going to need. Okay, we're gonna need those things. Actually spawn them in with you. We can have our canvas, eraser, another eraser, eraser marker, multicolor marker, and pretty sure that's all we need. Now, I'm going to clone the same canvas. Alright, now do not clone the canvas like I did. You only need one canvas, but I'm using mine for reference because sometimes I say things like rainbow technique, to keep it a little bit interesting. I say rainbow, but it's really just like a half circle upside down kind of thing. And you might be like, Zoriana, why do we have two erasers? Well, first, right. I'm so sorry. If your things are frozen like mine, you're gonna have to open your maker pen using the three little lines button, open the menu, and then click use or reclaim or recall. Then you're gonna have to look at your maker pen and click configure and make it so they're not grabbable. Usually when you don't have the setting turned on your maker pen, um, things spawn not grabbable. But the thing is, probably for you, if you're a beginner, you probably have it as grabbable. So what I'm going to say for you is that you're going to take your maker pen out, either clicking the three little lines button, opening the menu, click use or recall, and it should appear right in front of your face and grab it. Or just pull it out from your back. And you're going to click this button and freeze, and it should say frozen. It should not say unfrozen. So let's talk about it. We have two erasers. We have two erasers right here. And you'd be like, why do we need two erasers? They're literally the same. You are exactly right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out our maker pen again. We're gonna click scale and we're gonna scale it down. I'm gonna scale it so it's significantly smaller. You're probably not going to need this big of a eraser in our tutorial because it's just a little bit excessive. Yeah, probably that's the base we're going to need because we are going to be doing tiny and detailed art because that is my personal art style. Now, we do have this. This is for erasing smaller things like little lines and stuff. Things that you wouldn't relatively need a big chunk taken out of. Now, this is our blue marker. You might be like, Zoriana, why do we have a blue marker? Well, I'll explain this shortly. Hold your horses. Now, I do want to teach you guys another thing that I always use in my tutorials from now on, which is a very important thing about art. Which, honestly, I've only been doing art for about 10 months or a year now, but this has helped me so much as an artist. So let's do it. So first you're going to want to unfreeze it using the freeze button, point at it, and it should say unfreeze. Careful not to grab it because you can grab it, and I'll let my intrusive thoughts run and grab it. And now we place it back in place. Anyways, we're going to scale, it bigger. And you might be like, Zoriana, why? I want to show you for the purpose of this tutorial. So, I'm going to say big equals smaller. Because it does. Because when I turn this canvas back to its original state, it's going to give us tiny little writing. Now, I'm going to draw it normal. Now, notice how they're a lot thicker and not more detailed. So normal will equal normal. Now we're going to draw it, we're going to scale it a little bit smaller. And we're going to click freeze. Now you see our canvas is significantly smaller. We're going to draw smaller. Look how big our marker strokes are. It's a little bit crazy. So yeah, now we have that useful things in our head. We're gonna freeze it back again and see. So big equals smaller, normal equals normal, and small equals big. So whenever you're trying to do something like this, make art that's like bigger or smaller or just relatively normal like that, you should try that little trick. It's saved multiple artists a lot of times. Now, we're gonna get started on our castle tutorial. Oh wait, no. We have a blue marker. So I will teach you how to recolor this. I'm sure that you don't know if you really are a beginner and you don't even know how to take out your maker pen. But first things first, I would like to say that beginners use tracing. If you are a beginner, you're going to want to use a gray marker or a light colored marker. I wouldn't recommend soft light blue because you're just going to erase your tracings and color it with black marker. For me, I'm going to use a black marker because I wouldn't consider myself a beginner anymore. But when you do see your when I'm sorry. When you do um draw, you're gonna draw on something lighter and then trace it over with something darker so you won't make any mistakes. But for me, I don't really need that. And we do have a eraser right here, so I don't think tracing is really necessary. But I mean, if you want to be cautious and you don't think you can do this, I would recommend tracing with a lighter shade like light gray, dark gray, would not say black. Now we're gonna pull out our maker pen. We're gonna click recolor. We're gonna go to colors, and this is light gray, this is gray, and this is black, and I'm gonna go for black for mine. So let's do this. We're going to erase this little jolly guy right here. He's a little bit too jolly to be gone. Thank you. Bye. And throw that out. Make sure our board is frozen. Taking out our maker pen, clicking the freeze button, and it should say unfrozen in this case scenario, which means it was already frozen, so then change it back to frozen. Make sure it's always frozen or else you're gonna grab your art and it's gonna go all over the place. Okay. Now let's get started with our mm, with our castle. Because our princess needs somewhere to live. Princess. Oh boy, I'm corny. Cornball. Okay, let's start. We're gonna start by drawing a little peak right here. Yeah, by drawing a little peak right here. I'd say kind of like a straight line. I will actually, before we start the tutorial, honestly, we've already started it a little bit, but let me see what time we're at. Ooh, 10 minutes. It's gonna be a long one. Anyways, I'm gonna show you guys my dot technique. This is my dot technique. It's how I do shaking lines, like how I did that one. I'm not drawing just a straight line, kind of like that. I'm drawing something like this, kind of like a dot. And yeah, so that's my straight line. And then I'm gonna go back down. I'm gonna make a kind of curved line. I'm gonna go down some more. Then I'm going to do some dot art. More up. Oh my god. Why did I try to escape? More up. And I'm just gonna tie it back down to make it skinnier. I'm gonna keep it like that. Now I'm going to draw a line and then a dull edge, which I would call half a circle. Now I'm going to draw kind of frilly edges. A boulder right there, so a round shape. A triangle shape. Another round shape. And a tweed. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Anyways, I will explain to you what I mean by all these terms like dull edge, boulder, round edge. So yeah, let me explain to you guys what that kind of means and well, what I mean by that. Because not a lot of artists might use that same term, but I have a little vivid imagination. So I call this rainbow. That's gonna be my rainbow. As you can kind of see, it kind of looks kind of like that. I'm gonna this is like in half circle. Half circles can also be like this. Yeah. And um do not forget our shaking hand technique. I think we're gonna use our shaking hand technique throughout the whole of the video. So just get used to that. Let's go back to our canvas now that you know what I mean by half circles. And I do also kind of want to explain that I'm really sorry if I'm not doing the tutorial well enough or like you can't really understand it. It's really hard to like kind of pinpoint shapes that don't like exist. Like that's not really what you would call a shape. So, let's get back to work, honestly. We got this. It's going to be okay. Now, we're going to draw um a rectangle, kind of big rectangle. We're going to go straight up, straight with our marker. We're going to draw back up and down. Then another one. Back up. A square shape. And another. So it's kind of like a rectangle at the top, another rectangle at the top, and it kind of makes a crown shape. Now we're going to make a square right under here. Another square. And a hole kind of shape. Now, as you can see, I wasn't really clear with hole, but honestly, I think if you actually like watch the tutorial, I think you might figure it out. I honestly don't know what to call that shape right there, but I mean, I'll try to explain it the best that I can. Okay, let's get back to it. And we're going to draw like a kind of little cliff edge right here. So we're going to do dull edge. We're going to go back down. We're going to chip it right here, like cut it. Then we're going to go with our straight line, another dull edge, and connect it. Then we're going to connect it right here, make it look kind of thick. Then we're going to go back down and back down again. Then right here, we're going to draw 2 lines in the middle. Now we are going to do our round edge. Another round edge right here. Another one. Then we're going to go back down in a round edge. Then we're going to do another one. And we have a half circle right there. Then we're going to take this part right here. We're going to tie it back into this part over here. Kind of mimic the same shape. And there we go. Now we're going to I kind of shade it a little bit with this simple lining. You know, it's kind of like this. It's like going your hand up and down, but in a slower gesture. Most of the time it will be perfect, kind of like that. Because in art, imperfect is perfect. So now we're going to draw our wall. We're going to go back down. And we're going to make our kind of like pillar shape with exits or holes, tunnels maybe? Not sure what to call it. Now we're going to start another rectangle shape. Then we're going to do a line across. As you can see, I kind of messed up right there because my line is not straight. So let's erase that. And let's make sure my line is straight this time. Good. Now we're going to draw kind of like a mountain on the bottom because sometimes princesses live up on the hill. So let's do it. Now we're going to draw like an ocean kind of thing. Another one. And we're going to draw a bump. A mountain peak. A valley. Kind of shape, kind of like a hump. We're going to go back down. And our bump. And another one. Kind of like a bush shape. We're going to draw another bush shape. Make sure you really emphasize on that shaking hand kind of thing. And let me teach you how to do the shaking hand thing. If you didn't already know, it's kind of self-explanatory, but it's like going up, down, kind of like that. You just want to do it a little bit faster. Okay, here we go. Now, we're going to draw a big sharp peak right here. I'm going to go back down, making a curve line. Then we're going to go back up, like a slide. Then we're going to tie it back down, but we're going to make it like sharp edges. Then back on the top, we're going to go back down. Go right back into here. And curl it back into there. Kind of like a slide. Now we're going to take this part, make the same shape. I don't know what to call that. I'd say... I don't know what to call that. I guess you're just going to have to take my word for it. I'll try to explain it though. So we're gonna go straight again, and then go up. Then we're gonna make a dull edge like that. Go back and make sure it's touching the same part that we just drew. Now we're gonna go up right here, making kind of like a rectangle shape. And we're gonna go down, make a little dip that's kind of like a square shape, another rectangle shape. Gonna go back down again, and then interrupt it with another one. As you can see, I did kind of draw over it, which we're not supposed to do. So I'm just gonna erase that. Sorry. Now I'm gonna do a rectangle. Yep. And then I'm gonna make it even skinnier by making lining. By making another rectangle yet again inside of it. There we go. Then we're gonna draw another square. Straight line, down, another one. So across, up, straight line, down, across, up, straight line, down, across, up, other side. Then we're gonna go back up, and we're gonna go back down. Look at that. We almost have our castle wall. Oh, don't get me wrong. We are not done. We're not even close. Okay, so I realized that I'm going to need a smaller marker. I don't know why I kind of like tried to like lowball myself and say that I wasn't gonna need one, but I'm definitely gonna need the smallest marker you can get. So this is the smallest you can make a eraser. So we're gonna redo this wall because that was just our base for a while. Now we're gonna go down, cross, up, across, down, across, up, down. Sorry, up, across, down, across, up, then it meets the other wall. Okay, perfect. Perfection. Now, you see this peak right here? We're going to tie it back together kind of like this. The kind of slide shape. Now we're going to come over here. And we're just going to draw over it to make it look like it's a bush. And now you might be like, Zoriana, this doesn't look so good. Just wait. Art doesn't usually look good in the middle of it when you're still drawing, but at the end, I promise the results will always show out. Now we're going to draw a little path right here. It'll be a little bit windy. So we're going to do a curved slide shape. We're going to make a U-turn a little bit, maybe? I wouldn't say that. I'd say a hump. And another one. Then we're going to take it right here, outline the shape that we just made. And there we go. Another windy shape. Now I'm going to go back up. Make a little triangle shape. Another. There we go. Then we're going to go across, down, up, across, down, up, across, down, up, across. Then we're going to actually go a lot more down until we reach this kind of point. Then I'm going to draw like a bush. So we're going to make it big at the base and then small at the top. Kind of mimic that shape that I'm doing. So I'd say like 2 circles like a snowman. Imagine a snowman, but kind of like bushy. Then we're going to do the same thing, But this one's going to be a little bit narrow, so watch me. And I will explain the shape. So this, I'd say this is kind of like an oval. You know how like a bread is? You know, a baguette? It's like that. And I'd say this tip right here. So it's kind of like an oval, but with jagged edges. Now we're gonna draw a little shape that's gonna contribute to the scenery. So we're gonna do this curved line right here, rainbow shape, another one, and we're gonna curl it, bush shape, another bush shape, and we're gonna draw a big dome right here, but we're gonna make it bushy, remember, bushy. We're gonna tie it back into that. Look at that. Now we're going to draw a dome shape, and I want to explain this. I'd say it's like a curl, and then it goes back down into a point edge. Then we're gonna tie it up, going back up, and kind of tying it up to that point edge shape. Now we're gonna do the edges right here. We're just gonna do like kind of like a straight jagged line. We're gonna do a hump right there, and then we're gonna stop. And then we are going to use our marker to make a big rectangle. We're going to do it again, making another huge rectangle. And another one. I'll be like, Soriana, that's just 3 squares. And you're absolutely right. So we're going to draw a little window right here. And we're going to leave that how it is. And we will, honestly, in everything in this tutorial, we are going to be right back to it at the end. So don't think we're done when we get to the end of the tutorial. Check our time. 20 minutes. We're not even close. Anyways, let's draw our little hood right there. And we're gonna draw another shape like that. So I'd say the shape is I'd say it's another baguette shape, just like kind of up down ways. I'd say it's like a window. The best way I can explain it is like a dome at the top, straight line on the edges, and then it goes back to a flat line at the bottom. Okay. Now we're gonna draw another kind of castle shape, which is up, side, down, up, next to like across, sorry, and a side, up, across, and down. So this time we're actually gonna go at the bottom of it. We're actually gonna make our bunny hops. I call these bunny hops. These could be bunny hops. These could be bunny hops. Or these could be bunny hops. You know? So let's do our bunny hop technique. Then after that, we're gonna draw slightly more, like slightly tinier under it. Then on that side, we're going to make it go down a little bit more. And now we have our bottom half of our kingdom, somewhat. Now we're gonna go right here. We're gonna draw a big shape, which is kind of like a dome shape. Just make it kind of jaggy with like it inclining, going up, like a hump. And then we're gonna go back down with our slide technique, which this is our slide. This is my wavy line technique. Like that. So now we're going to use our wavy line technique right here. And then right here, we're going to make it have a straight line kind of up, make it meet right here, and we're gonna close it right there. Okay. Now we're gonna make this shape kind of close in, just do any shape really. I'd go up with a dull edge. So this will be our dull edge. A sharp edge would be like this or like this, but that's dull. So I'd say half a circle. Then go back down with our wavy line technique. And then I'm just gonna kind of match it up right there. And yeah. Now we are going to start over on this side. We're gonna go up from right here until it's taller than any other point in our drawing. Now we're gonna go right here in the middle of it. We're gonna go up to make it kind of match the shape. And we'll come back to that. Now we're gonna make our point right here. Kind of the same shape, but this one's gonna be a square. Then we're gonna make our bunny hops. We're gonna go up from right here, making the same shape. Then the roof will be our bunny hops. And look at that. Now we're gonna draw our squares as windows. We'll come back to these. On the side, we'll draw even skinnier windows. And on the bottom, skinnier windows. And yeah. I'm sorry, I've been up for a little while. I'm gonna try to make this tutorial a bit short so I can go to bed. Because soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Sorry. We're gonna go back up with this bunny hop technique. We're gonna draw a cross. Kind of like a rectangle shape. Another square shape. Another square shape. Another square shape. Then we're gonna go across. And then we're gonna make that little shape, kind of like a flat line at the bottom. Then we're gonna do straight lines at the top with a little dull curve. Then after that, we're gonna do it on the sides, and we're gonna go down. Then we're gonna make a triangle kind of shape right here to kind of reminisce our castle roof. Then we're gonna go in the middle. And that is our roof. There we go. Now I'm gonna draw a square right here. We'll come back to that. That obviously does not look the best, but hey. You can always erase and try it again. Now we are going to draw another shape. So rectangle, I think, down. Rectangle again, but longer. And rectangle again. Then we're gonna draw another rectangle. Then on top of here, we're gonna go back up. Draw another castle shape like this. So rectangle, rectangle, another thicker rectangle, and we're gonna go back down. Look at that. Doesn't look the best, but hey, art's not meant to be perfect. Now we're gonna go back down and do that. Now we're gonna make a cylinder kind of shape. So we're gonna do that by going up. This is gonna be a massive part of our drawing. So we're gonna go up right here and kind of make a cylinder shape. It should not be leaning like mine, so don't do that. Okay. Now it took me a few attempts, but that'll be fine. We're gonna draw our baseline right here, and we're gonna pause on that. Now, right here, we're gonna draw our little rectangle again. We're gonna draw square, square, another square. We're gonna go to the left, go back down, and go back down again. Then right here where we stopped, we're gonna go and intrude on this little other space right here, and we're just gonna draw our roof. Which we all know the shape of roofs, but if you don't, it's kind of like a side rectangle. So we're gonna go straight, up, and then straight. I'm gonna erase this line right here. And yeah. Now on the other side, we are going to we're gonna start on our castle right here. Or our little castle tower. Make this part right here. Connect it going straight. Then we're gonna draw our castle peak. Because this tutorial is peak. Peak, peak, peak. Which is kind of like a triangle shape, as you already know. We're going to go back up doing this technique, kind of making a smaller triangle with it. Then we're going to draw another rectangle. And we're going to close it. And we're going to draw another rectangle or a square. And yeah, we can always kind of see it coming along. It'll be way better at the end of the tutorial, promise. Now we're gonna get started on this big tower piece. Tower. Sorry. We're gonna do a big chunky triangle. We're gonna do this kind of square shape right here, and we're gonna use that as our base and go back down. You might want to get your eraser. And I don't know if I made that crooked or not, so I'm just gonna do it again. I'm sure yours was perfect on the first try, but you know, I do have trouble drawing stuff even because I don't really like to draw even. And then I'm gonna go back down. And yeah. Here we go. Then I'm going to draw a rectangle. Another one. Another. And a dull edge right there. So it's kind of like a triangle, but like very dull, no sharp edges. except for these. Then I'm going to draw some bars and a little window, because our princess, she can't escape wherever in this huge castle, wherever she is. Now we're going to go straight, do a slide, and then go straight again. And under that, we're going to do a little compartment right here. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to go straight, trying to match it up a little bit. You can use your marker to like line it up a little bit. And then we're going to do our slope thing. Make a straight line and go back down. Yeah, so there's that. And honestly, I feel like this isn't straight. Like, I know it isn't. Here it is. Now, we're almost done with our tutorial. We just have the details to do. So let's keep going. Right here, we're going to do a rectangle kind of shape. Oh. Don't let that happen to you guys. I'm just gonna draw it again. Kind of like a square shape. And I really like this windy path. Too bad I ruined it, but hey. Thing about drawing is that you can always draw the same shape twice. Always find yourself. It's not going to be exactly the same, but you can always draw another shape. Sometimes when you erase your art, it comes back better. That's how art is. Anyways, we're going to do a rectangle right here. We're going to do a triangle. And this part right here. And then we're just going to draw a little window. Because our princess needs to see what the outside world is like. Because she's not going out in it. Anyways. We're going to draw our square windows. More square windows. Across. Across. And yeah. And here we go. Now we're going to start our shading. That is what I call line shading. Remember our line shading? I'll teach you again. It's like kind of like going like this. And let me teach you about our dot shading. It's almost like this, but you're always going to do it at the edge like this. Here, I'll show you an example. I'll make this kind of like a doorway, and then I'll give it some dots. And look at that. So we're going to shade this whole thing eventually. Well, honestly, I think we should get started on the shading right now. I do not want to keep you guys for an hour. Looks like it's gonna be an hour again, but hey, we are drawing a castle, and castles are pretty big. Honestly, if you ask me, I'd rather have a cool castle than like a little shabby McDonald's castle that they probably give you in the little Happy Meals, but hey, that's fine. So we're gonna shade the edges of it, kind of like this. There we go. I'm gonna shade these windows. Once it's shade, but we should fill them in. Fill in the squares as well. Another square. We're gonna do these lines. Some more lines. I like this trick because when things are bricks, I can like do it like this. So I kind of like give the illusion that it is bricks, like that, or that a building is old. Look at that. There we go. Now we're gonna do it on the other parts. And as you can see, they're not always going to be perfect, so don't bother about making them perfect. I do like to do it only on the corners because I feel like that's the best edge for me. Sometimes you can do it in the middle, but I don't really suggest it because it makes it kind of like a round effect like that, and it kind of looks weird. Okay. Now we're gonna do our dot technique on the edges of this. Then some more lines. Uh, Now we're gonna do some more lines at the other side of it. Some more lines. We're gonna do our dot technique on the edges. Then some lines. We're gonna do our dot technique. Then our lines. Our dots. Our lines. Now we're just gonna do it to all the other parts of it. Do it to dots on the side. Sorry for all the notifications that I'm getting. Like that. Our dot technique. our dot technique right here. Now, I'm going to do another dot technique. And then our lines right here. Look at that. Another dot. And more dots. I'm gonna make these dots kind of thicker because we have a thicker cylinder. There we go. Now our lines. Now we're gonna do our line technique. Kind of fill it in a little bit. Do some lighting because the lighting is going to be hitting from this way. So when you do stuff that is that way, it should have a darker effect like that, and that. And this kind of, we're gonna make this look a little bit thicker too. There we go. Another one. And we're gonna do some more dot techniques. Now we're gonna do our lines. There we go. Now we're going to do our scenery now. This might be significantly harder. Well, actually, no. Let's put a pause on our scenery and let's do the bottom wall. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. Dots. Excuse me. More dots. Dots all along the wall. Might as well just go ahead and do that. Here we go. Then we're gonna do our line technique right here. Remember what I told you about the lining? How if it's coming, the light's coming from this side, so it's gonna make a bigger shadow. There we go. And then I'm gonna shade our two little pillars right there. First, I want to make them straight because I don't think that was straight. Okay. Now I'm going to shade them. I do a little bit shading like this. And some more. Kind of like that, and then we're gonna do some dot shading in the middle. Okay. Now we're going to do... Oh boy. And we're still not even done with the bottom part. So... That's okay. I'm sorry. Let me close this. My fan did unfortunately fall, so please bear with me while I fix it. Gosh, my fan's acting like it doesn't know how to stand now. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Okay, now we're just gonna go back down with this, the marker. And our hump. We're going to draw a little curve, then make it flat going back down, then another one. And then we're gonna go a hump, making it finally close right there. Then we're gonna do another one. Make sure nothing gets away of our path. Then we're going to make another bump right there. We're gonna make a tree, doing our shaggy lines, kind of like a slide. Then make a point. Then yeah, we're gonna keep that right there. And we're gonna go a round shape right there. Back down. We're going to draw a dull edge right there. Tie it into the same shape, kinda. And then going to draw some hills. And look at that. Now, let's actually just like shade them. So remember, the light is coming from this way. So we would shade them kind of like this. See how I'm shading the edges, and I'm making the part where the sun is facing it a lot thicker. That's what it's going to look like. So I'm gonna make the lines really heavy and long down here, just so we can see the outline of our trail a lot better. Okay. Gonna go back down some more. And how I like to shade trees or bushes of the shore, I like to go like this. Okay, let's see. How long has this tutorial been going for? Depending on how long. Oh, well, we still have this part to shade, so I was gonna do like some clouds and stuff, but hey, we're gonna close it soon. Remember, we're gonna do bigger shading in this side because that's where the light is coming from. More lines. More lines. I'm gonna do some more right there. You see how it's kind of blending into our drawing now? Oh yeah, this part right here, we're gonna fill that in. We're gonna do our lines right there. Lines on both sides. Oops. Whatever, it's good shading. There we go. And here we are. Just any spaces that you relatively don't see any shading, just go ahead and put shading right there. Here we go. Now, this is our final product. Here we go. Thank you guys so much for watching my tutorial. This is what it looks like. Our beautiful castle for our beautiful princess. Next time for all you guys, I'll draw a beautiful knight. If you guys, apparently you guys don't like princesses because you didn't like my tutorial. You thought it was unnecessary. So I'll draw a knight. So it can be necessary because, you know, every princess needs a knight sometimes. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my tutorial. And I hope this tutorial really helped a lot. Let me know in the comments if it did or if it didn't. Bye. Oh, you thought I was gonna forget something?